Dave was having an ordinary day, well, as much as ordinary as you can get, assigned to mundane routines on a malfunctioning human spaceship. Dave always had a talent for getting rid of unwanted guests on spaceships, like giant rat-like creatures that had razor-sharp teeth, and no one else wanted to deal with them. So Dave had the wonderful task of being a space pest controller, and everyone wanted his services, including an alien princess who had heard of his special talents, summoned him. Princess Quip-Zalax of the Zorgulon Empire was not accustomed to shock. Born to a lineage of royal beings whose IQ was so high it had to be measured in theoretical equations, she prided herself on her unflappable composure. However, even she couldn't help but gape at the sight before her. The universe's most dangerous creature, a seven-eyed, 12-limbed monstrosity known as a Glarbulgian Doomfang, was currently sitting at the feet of a human, wagging its scorpion-like tail. "Good boy," the human said cheerfully, scratching the beast under its largest chin as if it were a particularly ugly dog. Quip-Zalax adjusted her glimmering coronet, her 3 lavender eyes narrowing in disbelief. How did you do that? You're here for my space rat infestation, aren't you? And old Doomfang here is not much help, he won't even touch them," she stammered, pointing at the Doomfang, which had melted entire starships with a single glare just hours earlier. The human, who introduced himself as Dave, from Minnesota, looked up from the creature. "Do what?" "You just tamed it," Quip-Zalax exclaimed. "That beast has destroyed entire armies. It incinerated my uncle just last week." Dave scratched his head. "Uncle, huh? Sorry about that. Anyway, he's not so bad. Just needed a little belly rub, and yes, I am here to fix your space rat problem." Quip-Zalax stared. She had personally overseen the capture of the Doomfang, which had taken 30 years, 6 planetary sieges, and the sacrifice of 2 solar systems. It was to be the crown jewel of her royal menagerie, an exhibit that would terrify the galaxy into submission. But ever since she'd brought the creature aboard her royal flagship, not a single soul had dared come near it, until now. The Doomfang let out a low, rumbling purr as Dave scratched behind one of its ears. Or at least, Quip-Zalax assumed it was an ear. It might also have been a venom duct. Dave grinned. "You know, he kind of reminds me of my dog back home, big old German shepherd named Max. Max used to get all worked up too, especially when squirrels were involved. But I'd just give him a good scratch and bam, calmest pup in the world." Quip-Zalax blinked. "You're saying you domesticated the Doomfang using a canine pacification technique?" "Guess so," Dave said, shrugging. But the Doomfang is a genetically engineered apex predator. It's immune to telepathy, resistant to every known weapon, and consumes black holes for breakfast." "Yeah, but has anyone ever just tried being nice to it?" Dave asked, raising an eyebrow. Quip-Zalax opened her mouth to retort, then closed it. In truth, no one had tried being nice to the Doomfang. The usual strategy involved screaming, running, and/or deploying orbital nukes. The Doomfang, meanwhile, rolled onto its back, exposing a stomach lined with chitinous plates. Dave obligingly gave it a belly rub, eliciting a sound that was somewhere between a growl and a contented burp. "I don't believe this," Quip-Zalax muttered, her voice trembling. "You've ruined my plans for galactic domination. Who will fear the Zorgulon Empire now, knowing our deadliest weapon is a pet?" "Well, to be fair, you could probably still use him to scare people," Dave offered. "Just, give me a heads up so I can come along. He gets a bit clingy." Quip-Zalax groaned and slumped onto her royal hover throne. This was not how today was supposed to go. "Tell you what," Dave said, patting the Doomfang on its now drooling snout. "How about I stay on as your official beast whisperer? That way you've still got your terrifying monster, and I get to hang out with this big guy. Win-win, right?" The princess rubbed her temples. "Fine," she muttered, "but if he eats you, I'm not cleaning up the mess." "Deal," Dave said, beaming. And with a simple hand command, Doomfang quickly took care of the space rat problem, leaving the princess even more frustrated. And so Dave from Minnesota became the first human ambassador to the Zorgulon Empire, and the proud owner of the universe's most dangerous lapdog. As for Princess Quipzalax, she spent the rest of her reign grappling with the baffling reality that sometimes sheer force of will was no match for a good belly rub. And now they both roam the universe, the duo stamping out injustice wherever they went. Well, what else would you do with a huge space tiger at your call?